Are you on the edge of your seat? Because we're about to sound off with Kevin Williams, covering today's latest trends in location-based entertainment. Brought to you by the LBX Collective, your community to connect, engage, and inspire. All right, everyone, let's buckle up.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to another Sound Off with Kevin Williams. And we've got a good one focusing on some latest trends here. And boy, this is going live while we're at the EAG and the Social and Immersive Expo as well. So maybe you could just talk a little bit about what's going on there first, and then we'll jump into the Change My Mind.
So we have EAG, which is the UK's largest of the amusement trade events. I think it is the premier one. And it has got some co-located events. It has a London casino component, which is dealing with the gaming side. And on the other side, it has a social entertainment and immersive entertainment component. So the social immersive expo side will be dealing a lot with competitive socializing and have a little bit of esports and have a lot of XR, mainly represented by virtual reality, but we will also have some other examples of that. And we're also running during that event a conference session, so a chance for leaders in those particular sectors to give their observations on what's trending in the market and what's driving them in their innovation. London in January will be cold and brisk, but the conversation will be heated.
Yes. Oh, very nice. Very nicely done. All right. So what do we have? Speaking of heated conversations, what are we trying to change our mind now?
Well, let's see. One of those things that I feel very strongly about is shouting from the hilltops or the rooftops regarding what our industry is offering. And I'm wondering, during this time of inflationary impacts, if we shouldn't be having a more of a public-facing promotion campaign regarding our industry. And I mean all aspects of our industry, from theme parks, water parks, FECs, location-based entertainment, mum and pup amusements. I feel that as our industry is in a position of offering entertainment to an audience that is looking for value for money, that we should be shouting a lot more about it, especially in a crowded sector. We offer, the word staycation has disappeared, but individuals that are squeezed on what they can spend for their vacational budgets need to be aware of what is available close to home. And also, I think so much has changed in the out-of-home entertainment market recently, over the last 4 years, let alone 5 years, that we need to get the message out that what we offer and the variety of what we offer. And I think maybe our trade associations need to think about coming together, digging into their war chests and thinking about promoting. Confrontational? I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that question, if your thought was that this should be happening at the association level, or if it should be happening at, even like we think of franchise level, corporate group level, groups together like Dave & Buster's Main Event and Chuck E. Cheese, and putting together a marketing co-op. So I was kind of curious what your, who you felt should be responsible for this type of public, mass public promotion.
Yeah, who should pay for it?
Yeah. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I'd like it to be one message, so we all speak the same language. I would like there not to be the argument of trying to define what an entertainment is, what an FEC is, and what an LBE is, but we come up with a clear nomenclature. If we're going to come up with a clear nomenclature, then that's an association perspective. There are, in North America, 3 or 4 associations, from the water parks, the laser tags, the bowling, 4, 5, 6 or 7 associations. Again, if we're going to have the Dave & Buster's and the Chuck E. Cheese's involved, they're going to want to steer it in their direction. I don't know how open they would be to promoting their competitors. I think maybe it would have to be an association level gathering, and all of the associations come together and promote that. And we could make this quite pivotal and talk directly to our audience. And I'm not talking about just TV spots or a Super Bowl advert. I'm talking about proper use of social media. I am talking also about the proper use of the databases of customers that all of us retain. That maybe we need to have a set message that gets pushed out there that becomes as ubiquitous as the FBI don't do drugs warning used to be on arcade cabinets.
Well, yeah, and I think of the big one that comes to mind was the Got Milk campaign from
Yeah.
many years back. And yes, now granted, it's all milk, and any dairy farmer that happens to be a part of that co-op is benefiting if people buy more milk, even if it's one brand of milk versus another brand of milk, because it was really put forward by the dairy farmers themselves versus the particular brands. So I think that was a good example of that. I can see some of the difficulty when you have competing brands, especially in a given location. But look, at the end of the day, if you're raising awareness around coming out and out of your home and having experiences and having good time and entertainment, they're not always going to go to and choose Chuck E. Cheese or only choose Main Event, right? They're going to go and they're going to try to find other experiences. And I wonder if this is also something alongside the ability to even find those experiences. And I think that's also lacking in our out there. It is not easy to find new experiences on Google Maps or on Yelp or on Groupon. Like, those are the main search areas, and it's not easy to do that as well.
If you were going to, if you had a never-ending budget for this approach, you would split it into three components. You would make it a promotion of out-of-home entertainment across the board, and then you would create a database or a web page or a app that would make it easy. So you would create your Yelp for entertainment. And then the third one is that you would go for an ambassador process, which you would create individuals that are in the target audience faces. They are recognized individuals that can act as the everyman to impart the information to. So this would be a three-phase approach, and I'm not sure if our trade associations would jump on board that kind of approach unless they could see some significant numbers being generated for their membership in themselves. It's what a consultant of a certain age and a certain mindset thinks is a good idea. Whether the rest of the industry will follow me with that is another matter. But I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, coming up, we'll have some coverage on the latest industry trends. Intercard is the only cashless system designed, developed, and manufactured all under one roof. They introduced cashless technology to the amusement industry and have been leading the way for over 30 years. Cashless systems from Intercard increase customer spending, guest satisfaction, and boost revenues by up to 30%. Intercard is so proud to be serving the amusement industry, and if you aren't already part of their global family of customers, they hope you will become one soon.
Well, thank you very much, Intercard. And let's jump straight in. I think first with the trends that are in the biz, as it were, what's shaping our business at the moment. And of course, we always seem to begin the year with a little bit of controversy and a little bit of fun and thrills. Maybe that is the curse of the new year, that it highlights these type of things. Our friends in the game, great name, location, part of a chain. Their Massachusetts facility, brand new, opened its doors, had a event, a celebration, and they had bunting and balloons and a big opening ceremony, and the signage and the balloons and the theming collapsed, injuring five children. Not seriously, thankfully, but it got their facility in the news. That's not what we want to see. So again, stable door, but if you're going to be doing a big opening, do the risk evaluation of what you're doing. Balloons can be dangerous too.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
uh,
mean,
I don't want to
it's
make light of it. Individuals are okay; they're just slight injuries, but all the
yeah.
same.
I mean, I will say at least it was something that was temporary and not part of a permanent one,
Infrastructure.
one of the attractions there or something that caused the damage. So if anything, for the industry, it was good that it was balloons and a display that collapsed instead.
Yeah, but we don't want to see many more of that. So please, if you make your New Year's resolution, just checking your safety protocols around your facility is a good thing. And as we're recording this, of course, the wildfires in Los Angeles are impacting the theme park and the amusement sector venues in the locality, and we wish them well and hope that everybody is safe out there. And then, if you're thinking about dangerous launches, one of those dangerous launches is try and pick something that's going to be good. Now, here we go. I am going to throw my arm in the blender and go out on a limb here. Our friends at Box Pickle Bowl in good old New York, have thrown their hat into the ring and called themselves what was it? Box Pickleball is like Top Golf for picklers. If you're going to do that, if you're going to go large, if you're going to start a new venue and you're going to claim big, make sure that your claims stand up. If you're just a pickleball court with some food elements added on, that's a kind of fighting talk and dangerous talk. But anyway, I have to be positive. My doctors have told me it's essential. So I am going to wish them the best of luck. I hope that they find some gamification that they can add to the pickleball court environment. And if not, I know that in a couple of months' time, they'll be calling us up to put some good old amusement into their locality. Sorry to be flippant, but it just caught me the wrong way, that new.
Oh no, I think it's. I went to their website and pulled up their food menu, and there's Comic Sans on the food menu. There's four other fonts as well, and frankly, like it's just a poor implementation of pickleball in general, which I think is a terrible attraction to put into an LVE space. But then it's a poor implementation of it. So I give them 9 to 18 months before they're either shut down or they're having to put different things in.
And so we're going to put our money where our mouth is. If they manage to go beyond 18 months, we're going to get them on the program, and I will eat humble pie in front of them. I'll have it baked especially. I won't eat my hat because I don't like hat-shaped cakes, but I will definitely eat some humble pie if they make it beyond 18. And we will speak to them to find out what was special about it. And for all we know, they may have done super research and have really nailed down their market. I am always willing to be proven wrong because I have to look in the mirror and I'm constantly proven wrong. But anyway, moving on. I touched upon in a recent Open and Shut, and I think we were talking about the stacks.
The stacks.
Chain, and it was important that I also talk about the other UK-based container social entertainment venue, Box Park, because that site or that operation has also started to ramp up, pardon the pun, its operation and is looking at increasing its leases. It's actually gone back to one of its earlier facilities and renewed its lease. There was a lot of question about whether it would or not. At the moment, this kind of, shall we say, kitchen locality, street kitchen kind of approach with a social entertainment element, live entertainment as well as mini golf and other aspects, is gaining some interest. And I wouldn't be surprised if mini versions of this container encampment aren't considered as well as the bigger mix. But again, I wanted to not just focus on stacks, but also point out that Box Park is also going through that kind of investment. I'm not too sure in the North American market if there is an equivalent to the Box Park operation, but it's obvious an idea that would have legs in other territory.
Yeah, I would say there's not from a like franchise where it's actually titled around the containers, but there are definitely containers used in a number
Yeah.
of different environments. We've seen even with Home Run Dugout
Yes.
and some of those. Like the containers are components of the overall mix, but not the main brand.
I wouldn't be surprised seeing more of these parachuted in as cheap and cheerful facility entertainment spaces. You have an audience, and you need to establish a social entertainment experience quickly, and this is an approach towards it.
Mhm.
The investment into competitive socializing continues, and our friends at State of Play Hospitality, the individuals behind the Bounce ping pong competitive socializing environment, of course, behind Flight Club, very popular, and behind their Hejingo, their what I call competitive socializing bingo experience, but I think they have a much better phraseology for what it is. It's social bingo. Anyway, these guys have received a 15 million pound debt advisory, or to secure their debt write-off, and so they're ploughing that into further expansion of their chain. The estate at the moment, I think they've got about 8 or 9 chains. I think I'm correct on that one. They're going to be targeting about 14 venues with this investment. So it kind of gives you an idea of how much these venues cost to develop on top of the other investment that they're going to raise through franchise and partnerships. But again, one to watch. The Flight Club in Las Vegas, the last time I was there, was very popular, and Bounce is also its own animal. Though I'm always fascinated about how popular table tennis has become for an audience. But hey, don't knock it until you try it. And the same goes for bingo. Maybe just rubbing a little bit of competitive socializing onto these things is all it needs is to cause them to skyrocket. Chuck E. Cheese, again, being mentioned. Very interesting interview with the CEO of Chuck E. Cheese took place, where we were given a little bit of transparency to how successful some of the things have been happening. And quite a few sound offs ago, we were talking about Chuck E. Cheese undertaking their subscription model. And the 2-month subscription payout to get you entry into the facility and a selection of tickets. Well, the CEO turned around and said that they have sold 400,000 subscriptions based upon that. I think it was about $25, $20 to $30 for that subscription system. That was interesting. I think that they're seeing it as a success. At least it guarantees a repeat visitation, as it were, as people redeem their subscription, unless they use it like a gym membership, that is. And at the same time, the CEO was commenting that he was seeing a per person average spend or entry into his facility between $45 and $50, which again was another very interesting thing. He was being very buoyant about bringing back the brand from the problems that he had inherited coming on board after COVID. He was parachuted into the position near enough during the COVID epidemic. He went through the Pascali situation and the Chapter 11 situation, and has forcefully pushed it through to the other side, and also talked about the possibility of returning to the stock market, but wasn't giving any timelines on that, but was making it clear that the operation has a very active rollout plan for more facilities. And of course, in the news, we've had the announcement that Chuck E. Cheese has appointed a UK agent to look for franchisees in the UK territories to open up. We have Chuck E. Cheese in the UAE. We have Chuck E. Cheese in North America. It looks like we're going to be getting Chuck E. Cheese in Europe. So, raise the bobblehead. Another announcement is that Mortimer has been turned into a bobblehead for a national bobblehead day, which was on the 7th of January, I was led to believe. And they've done a whole line of that. So the Chuck E. Cheese franchise is doing our industry proud, as it were. Any comments, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, so I think one clarification and then one comment maybe on their 2-month fun pass. I pulled up their pricing here, and I'll share my screen here in just a minute. But the average visitor spends $45 to $50. Are we talking about per family, the average visit, or are we talking about a per cap? Because if it's a per cap and I'm a family of 4 and I'm spending $200 when I walk into a Chuck E. Cheese, that seems high.
Very high.
Yeah.
I played the interview back a couple of times to try and get the gist of it, and sadly, it wasn't as clear as I'd like it. The way I interpreted it from what I took away from that was per individual.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is high.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very high. So here is, and maybe this is how we're getting to that number a little bit, but this is their pass. They have a bronze pass, silver pass, gold pass. They have a monthly fee that you could join, which is unlimited visits. Okay, well, I can come to Chuck E. Cheese free anytime anyway, so I don't know why I'm getting whatever. But you get 100 games. I'm not sure if that means 100 credits or something, or you can play 100 games on every visit.
If they say 100 games and there's no asterisks, they're going to have to mean 100 games.
That's what I would think, right? And so, and I'm assuming there's maybe not always redemption. Maybe there is redemption. So this is where things start to break down for me. But the one I don't understand is this 2-month fun pass. If I get all of this for up to 6 family members for $12 a month, why would I pay $72 for 2 months? So this is what I'm not fully understanding. This is a weird pricing here. So don't know if you have any clarification there, but definitely something it would be great to get to get an understanding of.
I think it's going to get to the point where we're going to have to reach out to Chuck E. Cheese's marketing promotional team and get them to clarify those statements. If our audience will forgive me, I would like to wait until after February to reach out to them. So they've done their filings and the stock market information is clear, so we can get a one-time clarification of their positioning. But I think the two things we need to know about is what is the average spend per cap, and how many of these subscriptions they've sold, and how do these subscription models work with the spend. But we put a pin in that. We'll be revisiting this one at a later date. IP is big. IP is flash. And IP helps sell tickets. And our friends at Sandbox VR have continued their relationship with Netflix. And they've just jumped in and announced the release of a Rebel Moon game experience based on the Netflix movie series. It's going to be available across all of their 55 facilities. I think they've got more than 55 facilities, but at least, the first 55 of these will all have this game experience. And they're hoping, obviously, to relive or rekindle the success that they had with their Squid Games IP that saw quite a few tickets sold in the Sandbox VR. Again, I watched the Rebel Moon franchise, both films, and found them okay-ish. So again, I don't know how much this will have sticker value, but we wish them well with this one. Again, apples and oranges, all of that. How would you rate Rebel Moon against Space Marines? Is the kind of argument. How would you rate it against Ghostbusters? How would you rate it against Jumanji? It's those arguments that we have in the free roaming VR sector of which type of IP do you go for, and how much is it going to draw bums on seats? And we look forward to seeing how successful this latest Netflix collaboration happens. Wouldn't be surprised if this kind of collaboration with Netflix also doesn't have a feed into Netflix plans for their own location-based entertainment operations. But again, I don't want to jump that bridge until we've actually crossed it. Anyway, while we're recording this, the final day of CES is taking place. The Consumer Electronics Show is the barometer of all things electronic, automotive, and technology laden. We're seeing a little bit of reserve, to be honest. I've been compiling the information for the Sting Report coverage, and it's interesting to see that we have a presence. The out-of-home entertainment industry is there. Some of our products from the industry are there in number and getting some reference. But just looking at the trending side, well, as we predicted, I think last year, the metaverse has kind of been pushed into the long grass as the term of the hour. It is not the zeitgeist anymore. Though that said, there were still companies promoting their metaverse components. It wasn't front and center. AI was the poster boy of technology trends and terminology. Though the number of AI-powered toasters and washing machines wasn't as ubiquitous as in previous years, it was still technology that was seen to be very important. So was robots. We had quite a few drones and robots on the show floor. This chart here, laying out the popular trends and terminologies is very interesting, and I'd like to thank Ali Bazir for getting this to us. It kind of indicates how much these trending terms have peaks and troughs, and it's also very interesting to see how hard the metaverse term has gone from boom to bust, as it were. That said, virtual reality is also taking quite a pounding as a terminology, being superseded by, of course, spatial computing, courtesy of Apple, and also mixed reality, though I'm getting the feeling that what some people call mixed reality may be virtual reality in different clothing. But anyway, we'll move on and, continuing about CES. And it was interesting to see the big booths going for amusement style attractions. And one of the most noteworthy of those was our friends at Sony, who created a Last of Us experience that felt like a major theme park attraction. They had individuals walking into an LED screened room enclosure and using their tracked pump action shotguns that have torches. They took part in a game experience based on The Last of Us survival game and movie and TV property. A lot of people commented about how much this was being promoted as a PlayStation theme park experience, as if maybe Sony has something up its sleeve and is intimating that they, like Nintendo, are going to be dropping their console universe into a bricks and mortar phygital environment. We know that they already have their Wonderverse location-based entertainment facility. This attraction looked a lot bigger than something that they could just parachute into a Wonderverse environment. But, they definitely teased as if they have plans for this. They also teased that some of their IP have also been allocated for film and streaming rollout. But I suppose after the success of Mario and after the success of Sonic, that everybody in the video games industry must be looking very closely at turning their properties into money-making films. Anyway, jumping on a little bit, and while everybody's in Las Vegas having fun, we've had the chance to see the Mandalay Bay's competitive socializing edition with their swingers site, and from the pictures grabbed, from the venue. It is a very impressive operation. They've really gone all out to create a multi-level mini golf social entertainment component, but with the inclusion of their carnival sector, which is off-the-shelf redemption product, reskinned and reapplied as a carnival element to their mini golf. So a primary and secondary entertainment spend for the site. We wish them a lot of luck with this venue, and I think, Brandon, that when we do Amusement Expo, we should walk around this one. And
this will absolutely be a visit for me. I've been excited about Swingers opening for over a year now at this point. I think we covered it on one of our daily shows when they first announced it and had some initial concept art. And so super excited to go and see it in a few months.
And interesting, there are quite a few new competitive socializing and location-based entertainment venues opened in Las Vegas since the last time we were out there. Though it would be interesting to walk from this when we do the visit. When we've done Swingers, we then need to go to Play It. That's in the Luxor, which is adjoining the Mandalay Bay through the concourse. Again, to judge the audience impact. But
yep.
That's something for later on. Anyway, dealing with the trends and the impacts as we start a new year. And, I was watching the LBX coverage, and I noticed that you guys have done a kind of crystal ball guess what the trends will be in the year. And I thought we should steal a good idea and do that for ourselves at Sound Off, so I can stick a pin in these comments and then come back and chastise myself for their accuracy in 12 months' time. So, we start with the high, the 80% certainties, as I perceive them. And I think tariffs are going to be one of those things that are going to impact our industry, if not the whole of the international industry, not just tariffs from North America with the incoming administration, but also other countries looking at tariffs as a kinds of means to regulate imports and exports and such like. The American position about the Chinese tariffs is already having direct impact. As we were seeing at IALPA, there were a number of Chinese companies that were actively looking to find North American partners to act as representatives for them to try and address the impact of some of the tariff charges that they would be experiencing if they were selling direct into that marketplace. Again, Canada and Mexico, I'm not sure exactly how much of an impact those tariffs will have on the amusement side, but I know it will have quite a serious impact on the food industry. These are things that we're going to need to weather, and in these inflationary conditions, we will feel them hard. So again, that's one that I feel that is one to watch for this year. I've already touched upon it in the open and shuts, which hopefully will be up by the time you watch this Sound Off. But I feel very strongly that the sim golf sector is going to explode on us, partly due to the investment that the TGL is putting in to technology-infused golf, but also by the number of operations that are jumping on this bandwagon of this free promotion. Really, what we're seeing is the golf industry reinventing itself for its younger audience, and through the use of the sim golf sector, that has allowed them to appeal to quite a wide audience. I charted in my I hold a database of location-based entertainment facilities internationally, and I charted about 17 to 18 different chains or operations that fit into the sim golf side. I didn't go into too much detail. I just quickly grabbed the companies that are pivoting heavily on sim golf as their key primary entertainment offering. But I also know that there are other venues that include sim bays in their makeup. So If I did even more detail, I'm sure that would be a wider mix. But again, I expect 2025 to see quite a few more additions to the number of entertainment venues in that mix. Going for the medium speculation, as it were, sticking my neck out a little bit here, but I expect to see some more closures of operations, or should we say movements into administration as they restructure themselves, Chapter 11 protection, that kind of thing. We're already seeing that. We ended the year with the news that the owners of Immersive Gamebox had gone into administration. I don't expect them to be in closure. I just expect them to be acquired or to go through reinvestment or new investment. And that's the kind of thing that I expect to see happening to a number of operations over the coming months, as they have to face the reality of their revenue generation over the last 3 years. Depending on how their investment has been shaped up, it is usually the three or 4 year itch where the investors sort of turn up, look at the books and see if things have been going successfully or not. And there are a couple of companies on my radar screens that will have to make announcements where they're not in the positive, and how they will move forward going from that position will be interesting. But again, this is one where we have to be mindful of the current conditions, that we're going to see a lot of ups and downs in that sector. Also in the medium is mixed reality. As I said earlier on, CES has shown us that AI and mixed reality are the buzzwords and the trending topics. Mixed reality is a parachute for a lot of the virtual reality boys. They feel that the technology of being able to see the environment and the world around you while superimposing pass-through CGI imagery is the future. Quite separate to what AR, augmented reality, is. Mixed reality is really the ability to have both virtual reality, where you totally immerse the individual in a synthetic environment, or mixed reality, where you place synthetic objects and elements over their vision of the real world around them. We have seen that deployed into the location-based entertainment business already, with at least 2 or 3 companies rolling out mixed use with either a laser tag kind of experience or a museum kind of experience. And we can expect to see that continue to be invested in from companies in the next couple of months. And then going for the low prospects, the ones that I'm not prepared to stick my head on the chopping block over, we have the mergers and acquisitions. I've been charting merger and acquisitions for the last few months, if not years, with Sound Off. I still think that will continue. Mergers as a prelude, maybe, or as a means to avoid the closures that I charted about earlier. But I expect to see a couple more mergers in that sector, and then an amusement shake-up. And that's the difficult one for a lot of us. We know that things are happening in the sector. We know that some of the amusement boys are finding it very difficult in the market, and some are finding it very successful in the market. We've never seen so many facilities open over the last few months. We've never seen so much machinery acquired, but for all the success of acquisition, we will be seeing in 2025 a cooling of the number of rollout of new openings. And again, from boom to bust, the industry will need to manage itself. I also, and I'm putting this in the low possibility because again, it's more gut feeling than a definite, but I also think the amusement industry needs to consider maybe reinventing itself. A lot of the products that are going into entertainment facilities are not going into traditional amusement facilities, but are going into either competitive socializing venues or the new kind of meal, mixed-use leisure entertainment. And maybe it's time for the amusement trade to shape up and chip up its game to be more reflective of where its products are being placed. But again, I've put that in the low percentage because that's more of a gut feeling on my part. And I look forward to either being proven right or having to wear sackcloth and ashes in 12 months' time. Anyway, Brandon, that's my rush through. Do you want to comment on any of those open and shuts?
Yeah, I mean, I actually
On any of those trends, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I actually think that I agree for the most part across across all of them, and also where you've put them. I will actually say though, so you mentioned that there's a gut feeling you have around the the shift from traditional amusement facilities to more competitive socializing, and that was actually one of my observations or one of my predictions that I put out there. I actually put that on the high end, which is that competitive socializing venues overtake traditional mixed FECs in new builds this year, because what we've just been, it's like following that trend. And yes, maybe it's a gut, excuse me, but I do have good grief. Hold on.
The gods are getting you.
Yeah, apparently, something's going on there, but
Yeah, no, it's the amusement gods. I'm going to start sneezing now, I suppose. Yes,
but I do see this happening, and whether it happens this year or happens next year, we are seeing this competitive socializing trend overtake traditional amusements, and something is going to happen in that industry.
I feel very strongly that competitive socializing is in a boom phase, but it's a boom phase that seems to have legs. It isn't the balloon pop. That's one aspect. I see it as a component of our market, the same way that we have family entertainment centers and active entertainment, laser tag, trampoline parks. I see competitive socializing as a growing side of that. But if you drew a Venn diagram, the bar and hospitality sector claim competitive socializing as their own. Maybe the scratch food business and social food and bev business see it as their own. Then we have the entertainment industry, the amusement industry maybe, or the attractions industry sees it as its own. So it is a child that sits in a very interesting sector. It is being fought over by various associations or groups, not associations, but industries. And I think it is its own animal. A lot of these companies are their own game. I pointed to one of the companies that is
State of play. Yep.
Received new investment, and these guys see themselves as their own animals. They haven't really formed themselves into an associational group at the moment. They are still quite independent, and they're in the active rollout phase. So yes, it's a safe bet to put that as something that we're going to see a lot more of in 2025. But I'm more interested, shall we say, on the impact of what competitive socializing will have on the markets around it. And I've charted amusement as being one of those that will feel the change the most. Then I think what I look forward to in the 2026 crystal ball gazing is to be able to chart how far competitive socializing will be going on, because by that point we will have had a solid 8 years worth of competitive socializing in the market. I think 8 or 9 years, and by then we will have to be seeing some changes in the market.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Kevin, for another great sound off. This has been number 57 for January 14th, 2025, and we will see you all on the next one.
Have a good one.